necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Mick Bazzuly Show, brought to you by RP Summit, putting money in businesses' pockets for 20 years. Visit rpsummit.com. Now, here's Mick.
3:03 on a Monday, a brand new week here in South Florida and around the world. You're listening to the Mick Bazzuly Show, and I happen to be Mick Bazzuly right here on Beasley Broadcasting, Super 740 AM, around the world on amp2.tv, as well as www.wsbrradio.com. Great weekend. We had a blast. We went down at Reggiano's. It was packed Friday night. Freddie, our producer, was there, stuffing his face with lasagna. The bar was full. I mean, everything worked out well. I want to thank Dennis for joining us on Friday's show. Saturday and Sunday were also packed at Reggiano's in Fort Lauderdale, the hottest restaurant in the town right now. Brand new, just opened about 2-3 weeks. And we had a great time, and we had half-assed weather, as you could say, but it was still, all in all, a great time because it did not rain inside the bar area where I spent a little bit too much time. We got a pretty good show lined up today. We're going to be talking about a new company, a company that has tremendous upside because of the fact that simply there is no dilution. I mean, I've had companies on this show, and I got to say it's just ridiculous. They got $1.4 billion in the float. They're trading at 0.0001, and they're talking about being the next Walmart or something like that. And you got to laugh because they have the revenues of a glorified hot dog truck, and they have the stock float of a Walmart. And you say to yourself as an investor, how am I going to make any money here? I mean, it's almost impossible. It's not going to happen. So there are key elements you look for here in the stock market as far as, and I've been talking about this and preaching it for 20 years. Take a look at the management of the company. Take a look at their background. Take a look at the production. And then, of course, look at the shareholders, the way it's sectioned out. I mean, just remarkable. You look around and you say to yourself, you know what? It's not going to work. There's just too much stock out there. It is not going to work. And it's such a simple thing. When you look at shareholders, the more stock that's held openly in the market devalues the stock that you have in your account. And this company, Exactus, doesn't have any of those things going. Right now, it is so tightly held. We got I'll let the boys tell you themselves. I happen to have the CEO here. Okay, Emmy, how are you today?
Good, Mick. How you doing?
Good. Okay, and of course, nobody but Andrew Johnson. It's good seeing you too.
Nice to see you, Mick.
Your company, I look at it. It's trading between 70 and 90 cents. It trades lightly because, let's face it, you only have about 10, 12 million shares actually held by shareholders in the market.
Yeah, it's a little less than a quarter of the total.
Yeah, you got about 40 million listed. You're in the market. You just purchased a company called Lavore, is it?
Lavore Collection, yes.
Right, which is a health and beauty wellness here in South Florida. In fact, they're like you're out of Del Rey. They're somewhere around South Beach, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Well, now they're in our office because we took them in. But it's important for us to attack that market. There's a $6 to $7 billion health and beauty market, and it's a huge market, and we needed to introduce our products into it, so this was a perfect match for us.
Well, women today, we were talking earlier, off camera about the baby boomers getting older. I mean, the youngest baby boomer today is somewhere in the 50s, somewhere around, hold on. You got to move your microphone close. Okay, I forgot, it's been so long. You used to have headsets on in this business, but they've modernized now, so we don't have that anymore. But the baby boomers are older. Now you got the generation that came up after the baby boomers. They're now in their 40s and mid-40s, 30s. They're getting older. And the female market, they're anticipating, these are Google numbers, $55 billion just in the female market in health and beauty. I mean, that's staggering when you look at it. $250 billion by 2022 in combined health and beauty age just for men and women. Okay, you're in the right place at the right time.
Well, it's a huge growth market, and Gen X's and Gen Y's that you just mentioned. I mean, they are the up and coming generation of spenders, particularly in the care market. Everyone wants to stay younger. Everyone wants to regenerate their body. Use natural solutions to body pains, back pains, and all that. Besides the health and beauty, there's a sports nutrition growing crazy. So we are, in a way, reinserting these products into the mainstream market. Hemp was part of the consumer market for over 5,000 years, just been out of it for 90.
Right.
So our job is now to re-plug it in.
Okay, well, it seems to be working, too. I notice, for myself, looking at the way the markets are going, it's thinning out. Everybody was running into this. You saw it with GNC. GNC had an opportunity to really cover the market, and they blew it. GNC was a product that was everywhere. They had stores, now they're shutting their stores. It seems all the traffic goes online nowadays. Everybody's working online.
Well, they are, and we are also having a huge online presence. Our e-commerce platform is up. Our shop is running, and it's doing great. Part of the Levor acquisition was to bring in this. I don't know if you know, but Levor is an all-virtual brand, meaning we never carry inventory, so financially.
So what happens is, when I say no inventory, in the old days you used to have to go buy 10, 15,000 cases. And nowadays you can go ahead, if somebody orders one bottle or one cream or whatever it is, it's individually wrapped, labeled, and shipped.
Correct. So much of
fulfillment.
Much of the appeal of Levor was that it comes with an RTI ready real-time inventory agreement with a major cosmetics manufacturer. So essentially our website takes a purchase. That purchase comes in, and at that point, we're actually exposed to paying for the product that we're shipping to our customers. So that allows us to use every dollar we have into marketing as opposed to stocking a huge amount of inventory.
There's no money in inventory. I was taught that long ago when I was in business. No money whatsoever. What you want to do is you want to keep yourself flowing and, keep your inventory done. Not only that, you don't have the labor costs that go into it, which would be staggering as far as that goes. You got people, you got payroll taxes, you got all that. You're better off with one shot and out the door.
You can't get away with the cost of the product, of course, because that's something that you always have to front.
Right.
But stocking up a lot of inventory also brings up a lot of cost in just managing that inventory before it's sold. So you're right in that. We're not carrying any of that.
Now, your Q4s will be coming out, what month will that come out?
Our Q4 is our big expected revenue quarter because our farming just yielded its first crop starting by the end of September. So we didn't really have any time to convert that inventory in Q3. So Q4 is starting now, and we are expecting this to be our big month, our big quarter.
Right.
And you'll see our Q4s at the beginning of Q1.
How many years have you been in the industry, in the farming business?
Oh God, 3 generations.
Okay, so I guess you made a career of it.
I told myself that I was not going to be a farmer. I went to school for finance and and literature, and during the biodiesel boom, I got into agriculture just by way of structuring financial deals with it, and then eventually I just fell back in where I came from.
Now it's all come to a head because now, as being a CEO of a company, you have to be more or less a bean counter. You have to be somebody who cleans the toilet. You have to do just about everything as a CEO these days.
You're right. I'm more of a flour counter than a bean counter, but I'll take that.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. I remember years ago when somebody told me about, back when women were getting into the facial creams. You had maybe 4 or 5 out there, and that is like a whole wall full of facial products and things. Everybody wants to look younger. And I can understand that. I see it all the time with these women who have Botox parties. I mean, you got people today actually injecting their rear ends with tire flat fixer. I mean, what is going on in society today? It's insanity. Then you got the people that, in this horrible opioid crisis that we have going on, where we're losing 70,000 people a year getting killed by this stuff, and the drug manufacturers keep pumping it out, and the doctors keep writing the scripts. To go a natural cure, or at least to maintain yourself to the level where you don't get sick. You think that's where we should be heading?
Well, it's the opioid crisis. It's egregious, but it's also a big driver of our industry.
Yeah.
People started looking for alternatives. You go, you get a tooth pulled, and you get 40 pills of hydrocodone, and then someone gets hooked on it and ruins their life. That can't be a formula. So a lot of the energy promoting the whole cannabis industry is the search for a healthier alternative.
It's not only cannabinoid products. It's other products that are coming. It's all coming from natural plants. I mean, that's one of the problems they have with, you look at what's happening in the rainforest. There could be 1,000 cures in there that we're never going to find because that plant doesn't exist anymore. And that's where people say, well, there's other things. Well, maybe not. We don't know that. It seems everything comes out of the plant. Now that they're farming the seas, they're looking toward different plants that they're pulling out of the seas. It's never ending. It's a changing industry every day, and you guys seem to be right on top of it.
Well, you could add to that over the last 40 or 50 years, there has been this synthetic, kind of craze, and that was also the time in which medicine cured less things and treated more things. And I think that the public is turning away from just treating things, and they want cures, and the cures really come from the natural world.
Yeah, it does, and it seems it's that way all the time. We're going to go to a break right now. We're going to come back in about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm the Mixter. I'm on with Exodus. Let's say EXDI is the symbol. You're going to love it. It's, to me, I tell you the truth, I like floats, and this one has a tight float, and that to me is what I look at with any company, and you should too. Okay, be back right after this. Hey folks, Reggiano's of Fort Lauderdale is now open. 2724 East Commercial Boulevard, just before Bayview, heading east to the beach. Reggiano's, the best Italian food you're going to find this side of New York City. Come in. Go ahead and enjoy the bar. Happy hour prices, $5 bits at the bar. You can stuff yourself right there with a half-price drink. Who's better than you? Nobody. Reggiano's of Fort Lauderdale. Drop in, say hello. Rose is at the bar. Chef Brian will cook to your special needs, whatever you like. Try the veal chop, my favorite, at Reggiano's, 2724 East Commercial Boulevard, 754-779-7995. For reservations, 754-779-7995. Reggiano's, hottest restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. Attention, doctors, car lots. I don't care what type of business you're in. Let's face it, you all need traffic. And nobody drives traffic, and I'm talking about traffic that brings you dollars, than RP Summit and rpsummit.com. Yep, they're here now in South Florida. They've taken over the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia. Everybody knows who RP Summit is, because RP Summit drives you traffic. Let's face it, if you give me $1 on a Monday, and I give you back $4 on a Wednesday, the only thing you should be thinking about is giving me more dollars. Well, that's what RP Summit does. They are the best in the business at driving real traffic to your website or to your business. Because let's face it, it's all about getting bodies, getting people to find you. What good is having a website if nobody knows where you are? Let's face it. I mean, what are they just going to pull it out of the air? Of course not. Well, RP Summit's been driving people to businesses now for over 20 years and successful. And the fact is, once you hire them, you're never going to fire them. I suggest you look at rpsummit.com or give them a call for a free consultation at 856-424-7222. That's rpsummit.com. They will drive traffic like you've never seen before. And believe me, once you get them, you'll never get rid of them. You'll say, why didn't I do this before? It's simple. You didn't know about them, but now you do, so there's no excuse. Pick up a phone, 856-424-7222. rpsummit.com, the best in the business. .317 back on the air here on SBR. we're looking. We were just talking off air, and it's something when you have a company that goes out and actually buys back its own product and other people's product because of the traceability. And traceability, what it means is, a lot of companies just. Well, why don't you tell them?
Yeah, this is Andrew Johnson. What our industry is bombarded with adulterated products that are made from people that are trying to take advantage of
hot market.
Of the hot market. They slap a logo on a bottle. They say they have a CBD brand, and we do things from the opposite side, starting at the farm all the way to the finished consumer product. Emmy, tell them about our traceability profile.
Right. So it's important to make sure that you keep a chain of custody. In our case, all the way from the seed to the finished product, we know exactly what's in that bottle. When a client buys a product from us, they have a QR code that they can scan, and they can see the full chain of custody from that product all the way back to the farm where it came from.
I don't know anybody who has that. I don't know anybody who has that.
Well, in the industry of botanical extracts, traditionally that has been a requirement. We expect that to be a requirement, and we
as the FDA gets involved.
Correct. So we decided to meet the regulations that we expect to happen beforehand, which is a big responsibility issue towards our customers. And to expand on that, we actually are buying back, like you said, from retailers that now are discovering the importance of traceability and of product safety, and they bought product and they have CBD products and they're not comfortable. We're buying it back from them and replacing it by our product, and some of our customers are not very happy with that program.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You've been involved with different acquisitions. You always got your eyes out. You look at the buy customer base. I mean, really, that's somebody's got 12,000 customers. You want those under your umbrella.
Absolutely. Our M&A strategy is really detecting three main things: either technologies that give us products that we don't currently have, distribution channels that allow us to reach segments of the market that we're not reaching, or strong customer bases. So those are our three targets that we're looking at.
So if you find somebody out there who don't have the wherewithal, yet does have, let's say they got 1,000 customers, and they want to come into a bigger and bigger and better thing under your umbrella, you're open-minded.
Welcome to the club.
That's put it simple. Welcome to the club is right. Especially nowadays, because there was a flood. Now we're starting to see the thinning of the herd. The one by one, these companies are dropping out. Everybody wanted to get in. It reminds me of the old .com days. Everybody was racing with .coms, and poof, the bubble burst. And only a handful stood. And the ones that stood are the eBays, okay, the Oracles, the Googles, the Yahoos,
the
right?
integrated supply chains, and that's what we're shooting to be. At the end of the day, at the beginning, it's very easy to slap a label on a bottle, say you have a CBD company,
right,
collect a couple customers, and then you need to grow. You need to figure out where your supply is going to come from, where your manufacturing is going to come from. We came from the back to the forward side. So we started with the seed, and we have a full suite of products. We have a strong supply chain. We can now propel these brands when we acquire them. So we are also tempting for them as an acquirer.
It's funny because according to Google, like we said earlier, one customer, okay, to acquire one good customer costs between $120 and $140 per customer. That's the money spent in trying to procure that one customer. And then over a lifetime, that customer could bring back $25,000, $30,000.
Absolutely.
Okay, you figure the average age. And, car dealers do the same thing. They look at you for the term of your lifetime. How many cars are you going to buy? You bought one today? You might buy another 12 from me, providing I treat you right, providing you believe in my product. And it's the same thing that you're basically up against in your own business. You got to take care of your customers to bring them back.
Correct. And in our industry, loyalty might even be a stronger factor than in cars, because people are entrusting their health to us. So if they see results with our products, the attachment may even be stronger than what you suggest.
Right. And as far as being self-contained, if you did need money, you would never, and this is something important, never attempt to go out and get yourself a toxic loan like a lot of these companies have.
Listen, as a public company, day in and day out, you get offers from these toxic lenders. I think if you're going to respect your shareholders as a company, you can never, ever entertain.
No, because you can't pay them back. They just continually convert stock. They get a preferred issue. Yep. And what that means is you've seen it. You've seen companies go from $2 and they're down to millipennies now because they're paying for that $2, $3, $4 million that they went and got. And I can name a bunch of companies, many of them right here on this show over the years that I've been doing this broadcast. You see it, and they'll never address it. The last thing any CEO wants to talk about is, the toxic debt, which is going to destroy his shareholders.
Yeah, we've been very conscious about that. That's why we planned our strategy. The first $5 or $6 million of investment in our company came all from friends and family, which is a long road. You need to go have these meetings, percent again.
Right.
And now we're starting to work the institutional markets and trying to get into them. But the idea was always to avoid even the chance of being exposed to something that needing a toxic debt. So,
which we were talking earlier about NASDAQ and make an application to NASDAQ to eventually trade on the NASDAQ. Now you open up all those institutional lenders, which are conventional. Unlike the thieves that you meet in the street when you're on the pink sheets or the bulletin board or a lesser exchange. They seem to weed out. Once you get the conventional lenders, the Fleet Financials of the world, the people that give you an interest rate or they'll take a piece of the deal, they're in for the long run. They're not there for a hit and miss. Then I'm not going to convert you down. I want to see where we're going to be in 10 years. When somebody like Coca-Cola comes along, knocks on your door and says, "Listen, we want to acquire you," or Walgreens or Walmart, because that's what's going to happen. The bigger ones are going to be bought out. And you watch it happen. I've seen it by even bigger ones.
Well, that's maybe the most important part of how you raise your money and how you fund your company, because the next dollar that comes in is either going to attract the following dollar or detract the following dollar. And we made sure that everything in our company, our balance sheet is clean. We have no debt. Our critical risk capital was raised from friends and family until we got to the other side of that, and now we are at a place when we sit down with institutional capital and we can have an open discussion.
Yeah, but the first thing they're going to notice is you have no debt.
Yeah,
which shows the sincerity of the management. The management team, which is refreshing. When you look at it, most of these companies on the bulletin board. They go out and they make those fatal mistakes looking for the short-term money, and they never get out from under it. Yeah, well, I've seen it in different products.
We also put together this company's management team with a lot of industry veterans. We have a lot of big names, each in their space, so it made it easier for us to raise organic capital when we had people with track records in their areas.
A lot of times, people will criticize a pink sheet or a bulletin board when they seem to forget that Microsoft was at less than a penny for 10 years on the pink sheets. People seem to have short memories, but when you take something and you have your money into it, this is why I like most of these guys, and I've been down this road. Some of these big NASDAQ companies, management has no risk. They have golden parachutes. They're offered millions of dollars when they leave. They have no risk. But when you take a small company, or an upstart company, or something like you building it grassroots, ground up, it's your money in there. So this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a long-term play. And there's a lot of companies out there doing this right now that are saying, "Listen, I'm not going to take this. I'll struggle." Okay? But you, on the other hand, you're at 70, 80 cents because you don't have the float. The stock is valuable. When you look at, compare it. You don't take my word for it. If you're listening out there, go look around. You don't need to listen to me. Just go look for yourself. It's your money. Take a little time and explore yourself. Do a little research, and then make your own decisions. You don't need me to tell you what to do.
I think it's also important that in our case, our key management, their results are milestone-driven. So we didn't create just random issuances of stock to our key management.
Right.
They will all get their stock as per performance.
As they perform. Yeah. Okay, and which is the way it should be. And unfortunately, it's not that way. And look at our government. They give bonuses out to people that run Amtrak and lose $100 billion a year or whatever ungodly number it is. The guy who ran the post office got a $30 million bonus because he only lost $1 billion. Performance is exactly what pays off in the business. And if you set your plan that way, it gives them incentive to do a better job. I think I would work harder.
Yeah, we made sure that our company was well funded. So all of this harvest that's coming out,
Right.
all that inventory is being paid for. So we're not working on leverage of sales versus investment and some of the risks that
Right.
puts companies on of our size at a bigger risk.
You don't
So-
have to compromise yourself in selling something because you need the money. You know you're going to command your price because you can afford to hang out. You can afford to hang out. That's something most companies can't. They're an inch away at all times. You know, it kills me. Some of these companies that are out there, all right, the company may look good on paper, but the guy's working from his mother's dining room table. I mean, they don't have an office. They're diluted. They don't know where the next meal's coming from, and that's what gives it a bad name. But I can tell you some of these NASDAQ companies that don't belong there anymore, and they haven't been kicked down to the bulletin board or different exchanges. They don't belong there. You know, they were once high flyers. They completely ran the company in the ground. Now you take a company like you as a bulletin board company going ahead and making a NASDAQ application. I remember when you had to be a $5 stock to be on NASDAQ. They don't do that anymore. They look upside potential. All these fall into place, and then you get your NASDAQ approval. Once you get that, it's a different world.
Yeah, you still have considerable restrictions to get up to Nasdaq that protect the investor more than other markets. So you know, in our path to get uplisted, there's a lot of milestones that we may have to reach, and we're working hard to get our company to a higher standard.
It's not easy to get there.
If it were easy, no one would want it.
That's right. And you know what's funny? It's as hard as it is today. It was a lot harder 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not the NASDAQ we all used to know. I mean, they're looking for new blood to replace the blood that's already stale that they want to boot off. And that's where people got to remember, these exchanges, it's a business. They get paid by the trade. They get paid by your application. They get paid consistently. So they want to bring in new business because the older business isn't worthwhile anymore. They don't get paid for it. So why keep them? Let's get rid of it. It's the same thing anywhere you go. You know, and I see that. You know, but management makes it. What do you think? How many people actually work for your company?
We're a very lean team for what we have achieved. We have a little over 10 people at the headquarters, and then we have a lot of farm hands, of course.
Okay.
But at the farm level, managerial, we only have 4 people.
Right.
So we're really, really lean for what we have achieved.
So everybody
to other companies.
multitasks.
Well, our job right now is to protect investors' money and make sure we get to the other side of revenues, you know, using as little investment capital as possible. So we're at that stage. We're turning it over. Our harvest is in, so our Q4, we expect it to be strong. And
do you know when that's going to come out, the Q4?
Q4 will be announced in
That's quarterly.
Yeah, that'll be announced in mid-February.
All right. So we're around the corner. We got another 3 months or so, and then it goes fast. I mean, no matter how you look at it. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back after this. I'm the Mixter. You're on 740. We'll be back right away and wrap it up. When you get lost on a weekend and you don't know what to do, you want something to drink, some fine food to eat, how about some great entertainment? Well, 33rd Street has it all. The North Bay Shops on 33rd Street. Stop in at Fishtails. See Kathy Fasalo. She's making gravy every Sunday. Best entertainment in town. And then a few doors away, a nice glass of wine with the Candy Girl, Candace Proctor, and that beautiful 33rd Street wine bar that she's had for, I don't know how many years I've been going there, at least 10. Across the street, the Twins at Blue Jean Blues. Well, what kind of entertainment do they have on that street? Some of the best acts here in Fort Lauderdale, right on 33rd Street. All those restaurants are owned by women, by the way. Woman power. 33rd Street Wine Bar, Candace Proctor, Kathy Vassallo over at Fishtails, and Blue Jean Blues with the beautiful twins, Denise and Diane. Stop in, say the Mixter sent you, and look around. On weekends, they have block parties there from time to time. Want to know the schedule? Easy enough. Pick up a copy of Around Town magazine. You can get it everywhere. It's a free publication, and they'll tell you exactly what's happening, who's entertaining where on 33rd Street at the North Bay Shops. Tell them the Mixter sent you. It's that time of year. Yes, it's holiday time. And where are you going to have your holiday party? If you don't book early, you're going to end up at Denny's with moons over Miami. And I'll tell you what, it ain't worth it. Reggiano's of Fort Lauderdale. It's a hot restaurant, just opened. They're booking already for the holiday parties. 25, 50, 75 people, a private party, no problem. Chef Brian will offer you 5 or 6 packages so it don't break the wallet. Nothing worse than having a busted wallet or being a bust out around the holidays. And they know that at Reggiano's. Reggiano's 2724 East Commercial Boulevard. Can't miss it, right-hand side, just before Bayview, heading toward the beach. 2724 East Commercial Boulevard. Give him a call. Talk to Chef Brian. 754-779-7995. That's 754-779-7995. Book your holiday party early. 25, 50, 75, 100 people. Private, full bar, full liquor. He'll make it work for you. Chef Brian at Reggiano's of Fort Lauderdale. Yes, it does work. 3:34 on a marvelous Monday here in Boca Raton. It's good. You know, I tell you what, your health and beauty aids would sell really well here in Boca Raton. If anybody from Boca Raton knows exactly what I'm talking about as far as the ladies go here in Boca, they all think they're like the Queen of England. As you know, when you see them walking down the street, they're all prim. They're in their BMWs and their little Mercedes convertibles. Boca Raton's a different area, you got to admit.
Well, Florida as a whole is a really good market. You know, I mean, you mentioned before that a lot of people are looking at the California market that may be larger in total volume, but also the amount of companies in our space that are in the California market is ridiculous. It's super competitive.
They're killing each other. They're strangling each other for a buck out there. And you see bankruptcy after bank. Not only that, the taxes that you pay out there. You know, at least we have advantages here where we have a business-friendly government. You know, so far. Let's hope it stays that way. And we got a lot of young people here. Let's face it, everybody comes to Florida from around the world. And that's what I tell people. It's important. When they go back to wherever they came from, if you have a brand here, they're going to take the brand home with them. You know, which is very important. You got them from New York. You got them from South America. You have them from Europe. You have them from China.
Well, Latin America is a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just mentioned. I mean, South Florida is the gateway of Latin America. So
always
a brand
has
makes
been.
it big here and makes it big there.
Always has been. Florida has been a gateway. You know, I come from Tampa, okay, and we have Ybor City there, okay, and it's a big Cuban population, but these Cubans came there in 1905. You know, they've been there forever. The Columbia Restaurant is the oldest restaurant around there, and that's where Teddy Roosevelt actually assembled his troop. There's a historic plaque outside Ybor City where he assembled a troop to go over in Cuba in the war in 1898 to charge up San Juan Hill. I mean, everybody says, well, it's a thick Italian community. Well, the Italians came over to pick the sugar cane. They realized they got more money in Florida than they did in Louisiana, so they came here. Same thing with the Cubans. You can see the cigar factories in Ybor City. Every street has a cigar factory where they actually roll them in the windows. It's amazing. You know, and South Florida's always been like that. You know, and that is a great community as far as people coming in from outside. Young people who have disposable income. You know, you take an old codger, he's not going to go out there at 75 years old and buy anything. All right?
You'd be surprised. You know, retirees, particularly in Florida, they feed a demographic of retirees that do have disposable income. So actually the market
I
here...
would be surprised, but you might be right. You know your market better than I ever will because, you know, it is your market. You know, I can only know from a lot of my friends. You know, my friends, even the older ones, believe me, they're still working, okay, because they're money mongers. You know, they need money. They're out, they're partying, this and that. You know, these guys are almost 80. They never slowed down. I mean, in their heads, they still think they're 25 years old. You know, but every once in a while, they get a little bit, you don't see them for a while, and then sometimes you don't see them anymore. It's another funeral to dress up for.
Yeah, you know that also, besides the health and beauty, which we're, you know, getting very big in, the CBD is being used also for pre-workout, post-workout, pre-hangover, post-hangover. You know,
I could have used that years ago. I don't drink anymore. I don't drink any less either. No, I don't drink anymore. I can see. You know, in the old days they used to use bitters, And I had heard that this works very well on it. You know, if I ever decide to go, you nod your head, it does. If I ever decide to do this again, I love when they call me when I'm on the show. You got to call the studio, not here. I love when, like I said, the good things happen when you're not there anymore. It's like playing a professional sport. By the time you really figure out how to play it, you can't. Your body gave up. But that's the truth. You guys seem to be working toward a common goal. I look forward to seeing what happens. We'll do a follow-up maybe in a month or so. Come on again. And, I'm sure you're out there, and I know you can't talk about it, okay, that you're looking at other companies, because I can tell the way you guys are. You're aggressive. You're always looking for a new market, new shares, new market share, new product list. And sometimes it's better to go out and not create the wheel, let somebody else create it, and then just wheel it over to your camp, nice and easy.
Well, we can say that what we can say is that we're actively on the lookout for new product opportunities, new distribution channels, and new consumer bases. Our e-commerce platform, exactushemp.com, is out and running, and we're doing well. And as soon as we go nailing them in, we'll come here and make sure to tell you about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. Most of the companies that you see these days are, at a nickel, 4 cents. There's real value here. And where the value stands is I try and drive this point home. You got to look and see what's out there as far as stock goes. Because it's just like money. If they keep printing money, it's called deflation. Our money is worthless. That's what happens in some of these, like Venezuela. Now it costs like $450 for a roll of toilet paper. Because they just kept printing money because it's been devalued. Same principle in the stock market. If there's too much stock out there, the stock that you hold is worthless.
And Mick, to be honest, and it may sound like a cliche, we are not as attentive to the stock value short term. We're sitting in a situation where the valuation of our farm alone is larger than our market cap. We're in for the long run. We are in to watch the business, and the business will watch the stock.
And it'll grow. And another thing in Wall Street, and I tell people this, you don't buy today, you buy tomorrow. Okay, what's today and what was yesterday does not attribute ourselves to where we are going tomorrow. And you got to look for something with upside. And that's it. You have to look at the industry, which you got to agree that there is nothing bigger right now that I can find. Other than even oil isn't as big, and oil has always been a solid play.
This is huge, and we're just scratching the surface.
It's in infancy. It's in its infancy. Then you got to look at what tomorrow brings as far as, regulations. Okay, how it benefits you. I'll tell you something. It's a funny thing. You actually benefit from having somebody step over and say, okay, this don't work. This isn't going to be said. This, and follow the guidelines. With your case, would eliminate.
In our case particularly, because our industry is plagued, like Andrew said, with a lot of products there that meet little to no product safety procedures and any of that. So we've made very, very sure that we're going to meet regulations, whatever they are.
When they come, you're ready.
We meet very high standards of traceability, of product safety, of manufacturing procedures. We do not envision any higher standard than what we execute.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that's great.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, years ago, I'll give the audience something to think about. Years ago, in the .com crazed era, spamming, we used to get faxes constantly, okay, because email wasn't really there yet, but it was coming. So you got emails constantly spamming. They called it spamming. Yeah, just throw a bunch out there, see what hits. They did it with eBay. They did it with Yahoo. They did it with Google. They did it with everything. And once those companies were established, they passed the law. No more spamming. No more. After they got their share, they elected to go out there and say, we'll pass all these, we'll lobby and get these laws passed, the anti-spamming laws. And so now you can't spam. Again, trying to hold smaller companies from coming up to their level. And it worked. The last one through the gate was really Craigslist and Angie's List. They got out there even after spamming because they had partnerships. But they outlawed spamming. That's the way it works. Once they get theirs, once the big shots get theirs, they go ahead and they change the laws and makes it almost impossible for smaller companies to go out there and do what they did. And you see it. You see it every day. And I think this industry is going to come down to that eventually once the FDA does get involved.
Well, we're actually looking forward to it. We created a supply platform that's fully traceable for that very reason, because we are expecting regulations to come in and limit, some
And it
unfair
should.
competition
And
and unfair
rightfully.
products. Yeah.
I think rightfully it would. It not only protects the consumers from getting ripped off
or hurt.
or hurt.
Yeah.
Anything you ingest. I don't care if you're ingesting cookies. I mean, everybody has the Board of Health to contend with. And chicken, bakery products, they get inspected where they make this stuff. There's no inspections here. There's
Look at the
yet.
vape industry taking all these flack, right? There's vapable products that are out there for years now that haven't hurt anyone and actually have helped people stop from smoking combustion-based, products. But you get a bunch of woohoos there with products that are adulterated, that have vitamin E acetate in it, and now there's some people that are dead for lack of regulations.
And they started with the vaping. They started with the device itself catching fire on jet planes, burning people, and now everybody's got a camera. So you see these people walking around with their pockets on fire. I mean, that's enough to get you. But that's the start. That's how it works. Okay, what if I had one of these in overhead luggage in an airplane, and it caught fire? Then I blew the whole plane up. Okay, and this is how it works. You see it? They bring it along slowly. I knew they were going to come after this vaping industry years ago, because these people who vape, sometimes their head actually disappears in a cloud. They can't possibly be healthy for you. I mean, they just vanish. I'm talking to you. Next thing you know, your head disappeared.
The problem is not the vape itself; it's bad products and no regulations. I mean, there are ways to make healthy products out of vape. You can deliver in a vapor a lot of different medicines, not just this.
Right, they do it. They do it with vitamins too.
Absolutely.
For old people that can't take a pill.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been involved with some research, incredible research, like to deliver Cialis and ibuprofen and regular drugs that we know through vapor, and it's a healthy way to deliver it, but you can't allow bad products into the lungs.
No, there's got to be regulation. I believe in that. And if you're building a company where you're already making preparations for it, no matter what it is, what company it is, no matter what they throw at you, you're ready. And
absolutely.
That's the key to it all. I tell you, I wish you guys the best of luck. Like I said, we'll come back and at you anytime you need me. I'm here. Let me know the progress from time to time. Drop me an email, okay? And we'll keep it along. Andrew, great.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure having you here. Again, that's what is it, EXDI? It's on the bulletin board for now. Okay, soon to hopefully make your move once the filings come out and everything gets in order.
Supposedly we can't talk about that either.
I understand, but I can.
We'll let Mick do that.
I can because I'm not part of the company. I'm not an insider. Okay, all I can tell you is bring on the management team, the brain trust of the company, and it's up to you, the individual, to do your own research. And like I said, always look at how much stock is out there. Because you don't want to buy something where everybody's got it. You want to have a good shot at bringing something in that has value, looking for the long term, no matter what investment you make. Okay, and look at the industry itself and the management team, which you guys have been wide open with me, and I appreciate it. Tell you the truth, I really do appreciate it.
And let your listeners know we're always available. Give us a call anytime if you have any additional questions.
Or call the studio and I'll plug you in.
Absolutely.
Okay, if anybody's there and you want to have any questions, you can email me at mickespn@yahoo.com. mickespn@yahoo.com. I'm 100% available. Probably in a couple hours you'll be able to see this whole telecast on Yahoo. On YouTube. Under my name, Mick Bazsuly Show, or just Mick Bazsuly. Go ahead and put it into YouTube, and this show will pop up in its entirety. Okay, I'll be back again, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Mick.
Hope to see you again. Okay, I'll be back in a minute, right here on the Mixler Show, 347. Good job. When you get lost on a weekend and you don't know what to do, you want something to drink, some fine food to eat, how about some great entertainment? Well, 33rd Street has it all. The North Bay Shops on 33rd Street. Stop in at Fishtail. See Kathy Fasalo. She's making gravy every Sunday. best entertainment in town. And then a few doors away, a nice glass of wine with the Candy Girl, Candace Proctor, and that beautiful 33rd Street wine bar that she's had for, I don't know how many years I've been going there, at least 10. Across the street, the Twins at Blue Jean Blues. Well, what kind of entertainment do they have on that street? Some of the best acts here in Fort Lauderdale, right on 33rd Street. All those restaurants are owned by women, by the way. Woman power. 33rd Street Wine Bar, Candace Proctor, Kathy Vasallo over at Fishtails, and Blue Jean Blues with the beautiful twins, Denise and Diane. Stop in, say the Mixter sent you, and look around. On weekends, they have block parties there from time to time. Want to know the schedule? Easy enough. Pick up a copy of Around Town magazine. You can get it everywhere. It's a free publication, and they'll tell you exactly what's happening, who's entertaining where on 33rd Street at the North Bay Shops. Tell them the Mixter sent you. Hey, good folks, the Mixter here. Now, you've heard me sing the praises of RP Summit for, the better part of a year. Let me tell you something about RP Summit. In business, everybody's fishing from the same ocean. Well, RP Summit gives you a better type of bait, and he puts more lines in the water. He's been in business for about 15 years, and let me tell you this. Automotive, medical, business to business, they all swear by the good work of RP Summit, rpsummit.com. They'll generate traffic. They'll generate leads. They'll convert to dollars. What good is having 100 people come to your website if nobody spends 5 cents? Well, they recognize that, and they bring you the talent, and they bring you the people and the affordability that you're looking for to build your business. rpsummit.com. Log on today. Tell them the Mixter sent you. $3:49 back on Monday here on the Mixter. I'll tell you, that was enlightening. These guys, they really have their act together. And it was nice having some refreshing people into the studio once in a while. I mean, they're young, they're hard-hitting, they're aggressive, they got a lot of their money tied up into this, and it's nice to talk to them. I tell you, I had a great time the weekend. We were over at Reggiano's. The food is just to die for. It's Fort Lauderdale's newest Italian restaurant, 2724 East Commercial. Just before you get to Bayview, it's on the, the south side of the street. You can't miss it. The food was, like I said, to die for. My brother had a veal chop. I mean, I had a piece of it. I wish I would have had more of it. The wifeys were in town. They came down to party with us. The bar was completely packed. Entertainment nightly. I think he's going to bring in some other talent, too. Liz Sharp, she's been around town. She's great. Chris Janes. Toddy's playing there now. Live entertainment, happy hour prices on all week long. I mean, 2 for 1 at the bar, $5 wine, $5 appetizers. I mean, you can stuff yourself on the portions of it. It's ridiculous. You end up taking half of it home. But that's what they do over there. Rick and Ellen Schweitzer came in from Around Town newspaper. They were there taking pictures. So, we'll see what happens. And we got that Halloween blast coming up on the 31st. The big $250 bottle of Dom Perignon to the winners, a costume contest, a $130 bottle of red wine or white wine, whichever you desire, and third prize also going to get something. Dinner for 2. I mean, it's a fun place, great entertainment. The food is off the chart, and you don't need a banker when you walk in. Not like some of these places in Fort Lauderdale, where when you check in, they give you a representative from Wells Fargo, and it's just ridiculous. 754-779-7995. Book your Christmas party. Come out for Halloween. Come out this weekend. It's going to be packed. Live entertainment right there at Reggiano's on East Commercial. In fact, we're going to go to the phone now. We're going to talk to the chef, Brian, who will see what's going on over at Reggiano's. Brian, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mick.
I tell you, it was a great time Friday night. We were packed. I heard you were packed Saturday and Sunday. You made gravy. I mean, the food is really off the chart. As I was saying on air, my brother ordered the, veal chop, and I had a piece of it. It melts in your mouth.
Yeah. We were quite busy this weekend, and that veal chop is something else. I get a really good product. It's Dutch veal. You can't go wrong with it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, your preparation is terrific. Your food presentation off the chart. Everybody was there was complimentary. I didn't see anybody stiff. Everybody got a little stiff after they had 15 drinks. But I'll tell you the truth, we had a good time Friday night. I'm looking to do it this Friday again.
Yeah, we had a good night. Everything went smooth. Nobody had to wait for their food. Everything looked perfect. I was very happy with my staff in the kitchen. The service was great out front. They made sure everybody got what they wanted when they wanted. It was just everybody left. Everybody, it was a great vibe. Everybody had a good time and left happy.
That's for sure. They were all dancing in the street. You had great entertainment. What are your specials this week? What's coming up? Anything groovy you want to tell everybody about?
Sure. Right now I'm running yellowtail snapper oregonata. Nice breadcrumb toasting with garlic and olive oil, Parmesan cheese, and a nice smooth sauce. We also got some orchietta pasta with Italian sausage and broccoli rabe. And we got the veal chop, of course. You can never go wrong with that veal chop.
No, and it's reasonably priced. It's about half of what everybody else charges. And I mean, what a portion! That thing, it was a tomahawk chop that you brought out.
It was. It's definitely about a 3-inch veal chop. Can't go wrong with that.
No, it was thick and juicy.
And then I'm offering also with that veal chop, if you'd like, I can pound it out and bread it and top it off with some prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, mushroom marsala sauce. Make a nice saladistana, and you can have it any way you want, Mick.
This weekend, you're probably going to be packed again this weekend. I know we got the Halloween bash coming up on the 31st, which is Halloween. Any specials going out on Halloween you can think of? Some marinated pumpkin?
Well, I'm going to leave that as a surprise. How's that?
Oh, that's good enough, because Halloween night is always a night of surprises. And I tell you the truth, the whole town's talking about the place and how great. You're only open a couple of weeks. And reservations, I'd recommend reservations. Friday night you were jammed. I don't know. I wasn't out Saturday. I was recovering from Friday. And I heard you made a special type of sauce on Sunday, the same one you've been making forever, that you basically had the place full. The bar was empty. I spoke to somebody today about that. Sunday's not a drinking day. It's more of a chowhound day. It seems people go out and they want to eat. Maybe order a glass of wine with dinner. But you're not going to get the big bar crowds like you do at the beach, with the beach combers and stuff like that. It's different in the restaurant business.
Yes, I mean, we're definitely a step above everybody else in the Italian restaurant industry as far as taste and quality. I mean, definitely want to make reservations this weekend. We had a lot of people in last weekend. And as far as the Sunday gravy we're doing every Sunday, I mean, it's a really great dish. We had a lot of compliments on that yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a pork braciole with short ribs, meatballs, Italian sausage with pasta for $29.99. You can't go wrong.
Nope.
I mean, you could actually share it with somebody.
Yeah, right. I don't want to share my food. Brian, I want to thank you for coming on the show. All right, I'll see you probably during the week sometime. Wish you the best of luck. God bless all you and your staff. You do a great job, and I'll see you Friday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Mick.
That's Chef Brian from Reggiano's, 2724 East Commercial. We're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank the boys for coming in. We had a great time with Exodus. I mean, it was one of the better shows that I've had in a long time. Okay, it's nice to find people that really believe in themselves and they believe in their product. They believe in the long run in Wall Street, which is, got a bad name for itself. People short-term rapists. Not this case. These guys know what they're doing. Okay, and Andrew and Emmy, I want to thank you for coming on the show. EXDI, that's their symbol. I'm the Mixter. See you next time. I'll be on again this week. And we'll be on, probably bring on a new special guest. We'll see you soon. God bless you.
Thanks for listening to the Mick Bazzuly Show, brought to you by RP Summit, putting money in businesses' pockets for 20 years. Visit rpsummit.com and tune in again next time for the Mick Bazzuly Show.
The opinions